Alright, so this is India, Israel, and the most powerful politics you never heard of by Vrillium. Man, shout out Vrillium, man.
In 2021,
Yo, Vrillium, I just liked it. What did you just like? What are you talking about? How do you get that? You don't just get it, you earn it. Like, don't you have to watch something? Also, yeah, Vrillium, I forgot. Also, not mine, bro. I don't do petty scams. Vrillium, I saw you donate to Nick yesterday. Or was it 2 days ago? I don't remember. I saw you donate to Nick and then Nick responded to your shit. Yeah, shout out you. I didn't know you watched Nick. I just liked it. Not mine, bro. I don't do petty scams. I do the big ones. Oh, you be doing the Somalian prince scam or whatever the fuck it's called.
The yoga guru and BJP ally Baba Ramdev sold a cow dung chip, a dried disc of cow dung marketed to be used in mobile phones to stop, quote, radiation poisoning.
No way.
Authentic,
There's
real
no way.
Hindu blessed cow.
There's no way. 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 Sash, there's no way this is what your country is doing. There's no way you guys are making computers with cow shit chips. There's no way, bro.
In 2021, popular yoga guru and BJP ally Baba Ramdev sold a cow dung chip, a dried disc of cow dung marketed to be used in mobile phones to stop, quote, radiation poisoning. Made from authentic, real Hindu blessed cow dung, it sold like wildfire across India's Hindu belt, the most religious areas of the country. Mind you, no scientific evidence backed this up, but it sold in millions and now currently resides in millions of phones across India today. Now, you may be saying to yourself,
bro, what?
Wow, that's crazy. And you'd be right, but what's even crazier is that this party that he represents isn't a fringe or extremist party that exists on the sidelines of society. No, this is the BJP, the #1 political party in all of India. And trust me, folks, it only gets weirder from here.
Bro, I don't even know about this stuff. The fuck is this? Dude, this is your fucking country.
Folks, welcome back to The Narrative with me, your host, Vrillium, the host with the most and the most Hindu cow blessings. Folks, today I want to take a look at an interesting topic here. India has been in the news over the past weekend, especially in regards to the Strait of Hormuz. You might have seen various figures like Candace Owens, Tucker Carlson, Nick Fuentes, even Theo Vaughn covering the Strait of Hormuz and the war in Iran. It's something that I talk about a lot on the channel. But today I want to take a look at one of the key players in this grander non-US coalition to reopen the Strait of Hormuz. See, it was announced recently that India will be working alongside the UK in attempting to find a way to reopen the Strait of Hormuz, all while finding a way to ensure that the political balance isn't upset and that Israel still receives full support. Because let's note, BJP-run India is very, very pro-Israel. But what does that mean? That little 3 letters there, BJP. You might hear it a lot. You might hear especially about their Prime Minister, Narendra Modi. Prime Minister.
Do you know about the BJP?
Of India, the supposedly largest democracy in the world. We don't know a lot about him here, but in that part of the world, he is a controversial and divisive figure with either immense support or deep disdain. You might remember he's the one who did yoga. You remember that? He did yoga with a bunch of delegates from the United States.
What the fuck?
He's also met with Netanyahu several times. He's arguably Netanyahu's favorite Indian prime minister to ever come out of the subcontinent, and they have built a solid relationship between one another. This is because, again, like I said, the BJP and thus Narendra Modi are very, very pro-Israel. Actually, if you've ever seen Indians online...
Sometimes I be feeling, like, bad for India, not even gonna lie. All I know is how my country is friends with Russia, America, Israel, Palestine. I like Modi.
Being very pro-Israel. Maybe you've seen all the memes about it.
I love you, Israel woman. I love you so much. I want to marry Israel woman in life. Thank you so much. Please marry me, dear. Bold and beautiful Israel woman.
They are most likely BJP voters. They're most likely part of the BJP, if not large supporters themselves. Bigger supporters of a grander thing that I'd like to discuss here today. See, because India has its own Zionism. Yes, that's true. India has its own Zionism. And no, I'm not just talking about Indian support for Israel.
Please marry me, dear. Bold and beautiful.
They have their own ideology that is rooted in very similar principles. I've spoken about them before, and I even did a live stream where I got really in depth on the BJP, but I thought I'd make a full-length video actually diving into who these people are, because like I said, this is the largest political party in the world, in the largest democracy in the world. I mean, these are very, very important people. This is a very important party. The BJP represents an ideology called Hindutva. This is, like I said, the Indian Zionism, more specifically Hindu.
Dude, it's like every part of the country has like this type of like Zionism, bro. Like it's like whatever main religion is the country, and then there's gonna be some kind of like Zionist.
Zionism. That's the better word for it. But before I break down what I mean, be sure to like, subscribe.
Dude, this is an Indian chud, bro. Don't tell me an American chud wouldn't make the same video about Japanese girls. That is true. That is true. But bro, I feel like in general, India's a pretty like, oh my god, bro. India's like a horny ass country. Like, I know you've seen those videos of like these girls getting swarmed, like white girls or whatever, or that go like to India, and they be getting like swarmed by Indian dudes, bro. That shit's scary. If I'm like some kind of like European girl or like white girl or like any type of girl for that matter, I'm scared to go to India. I'm scared to go to India, bro.
Comment. I mean, all that. I do this every episode. But folks, let's get into the story surrounding the largest and weirdest political party in the world. Now, like I said, the BJP is the party of Hindutva. It's a grander ideology that goes all the way back to pre-partition times. That just means back when they were a colony of England. Now, Hindutva literally means Hindu.
Bro, isn't it crazy? Isn't that crazy? How India was a colony of England? That's wild as shit. That's wild.
So, like the state of being Hindu. The term, in its modern form, was coined by one Vinayak Damodar Sarvarkar in his 1923 pamphlet Hindutva, who is a Hindu. See, according to him, he posited the idea that a Hindu, which was the term we used for all people living in India at the time.
It's only older dudes, young men do not do that. Dude, there's no way. Bro, oh my god. Alright, here. I'm gonna just show you. Like, I feel like I can like look this up on YouTube and I'll find something. Okay. Indian swarm woman. Why don't I look up swarm and the first thing was like swastika. Indians in Melbourne, what the fuck? Russian woman shames Indian for littering. White girl travels to India, gets crazy reaction.
This girl travels to India, and all the locals run after her and want a picture with her. Why do you think that is?
Whoa, wait.
This girl travels to India, and all the...
You said it was just old men, right? Also, you do not know about the concept of Biharis. No, what the fuck is Biharis?
The locals run after her and want a picture with her. Why do you think that is?
Look at this, bro. Are these old people to you? It's fucking everybody. I was stalked and followed.
And when was the first time you realized that you had to be a little more careful because you were girls?
When I was stalked and followed for like 10 minutes.
I think I was very young. I think, in fact, 8 or 9.
Bro, they be doing this to their own people, bro.
I'd gone out to buy ice cream, and there was a guy who...
Let me break it down. Oh my god, this nigga's about to break down the concept of what? A Biharis? Oh my god, let me look this up, bro. Biharis refers primarily to people originating from the eastern India states of Bihar, but the term is also used to describe specific, often marginalized communities in Bangladesh and Pakistan. The term encompasses diverse ethno-linguistic groups, including... This is a breakdown of the different contexts from the term. Yeah, just break it down for me, bro. Honestly, I don't even know what the fuck that shit's saying. Alright, this is not that.
Was one who followed Hinduism. Remember, while Hindus make up the vast majority of India, there still are a sizable amount of ethnic and religious minorities. And especially during this time, before partition, before the creation of the state of Pakistan, there were a lot more. But in his worldview, those who are Muslim, Christian, whatever...
So Pakistan is basically just a new India? Like an India with its own, like, I guess, country or whatever, government?
They don't exactly fit into Indian society. It was his belief that India should become...
We do not have a lot of white people in our country. We get excited when we see them. Are you for real, bro? Now you know what? That's true. That's actually really true. Cause when I watch Speed go to China, and everyone wants or it's the same thing, when a black person goes to China, or like when a white person goes to Africa, and they think the African people think like they're ghosts and shit.
Not only a free and independent state, sovereign of British rule, but it should become a Hindu state, ruled by Hindu law, more specifically, the caste system, and that all non-Hindus need to be removed from the state. This is sort of the basis of his ideology. Now, his work would go on to be quite influential in the conversation around independence. You have to understand, after World War I, a big conversation formed in India surrounding independence from the crown. This is because, obviously, as you know, England sent fighters from their colonies to fight in World War I. And so a lot of Indians who had never left the Indian subcontinent and had never really known any other kind of nation, they were now fighting alongside Europeans who were coming from sovereign independent nations. And
I am a Kashitra by caste. Dude, the caste system is like, bro, why even have a caste system? A member of the second of the four great Hindu castes, the military caste. The traditional function is to protect society by fighting in wartime and governing in peace. Why the fuck did they give a Gundam the name of a fucking Hindu class system? Are you seeing this, bro? Are you seeing this? This is you? Nah, this is you. This is you right here. Interesting.
This idea of nationalism began to take hold. Now, Sarvarkar himself, the story largely ends there. He was basically just a thinker, but his work was picked up by another young political revolutionary by the name of Keshav Balaram Hedgewar. Now, Hedgewar would go on to found a very, very important organization that needs to be remembered.
The caste system was a British system. We had the Varna. We had the Varna system. The Varna system, caste system, was introduced by British to further divide the rule and to further divide and rule India.
Right now. Oh God, you're gonna make me pronounce this. Okay. The Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh, RSS for short, and that's absolutely where we're going to keep it. Literally the National Volunteer Union. This is when they formed. Now, the RSS is a paramilitary organization, more specifically a Hindutva paramilitary organization. So they basically acted as like local police or local guardsmen for Hindu communities and formed before partition.
Dude, the thing with India that I do give them props, it's like, I feel like they like to make things like really big and like make things look like really grand. Like that stage, whatever the fuck they had going on right there, that shit looked insane, bro. And their mass like amount of people and like manpower that they have in that country is crazy to see, bro.
And then played a major role in the partition of India. I'll actually show a video here. They're exactly what you think. They're goofy. They're goofy looking. Okay, they still exist. They are still a thing. They're going on over 100 years, and they are just as goofy.
Not gonna lie, bro, man. And I love I love everybody. Right? This is like no offense or whatever, but bro, a lot of Indians are goofy looking, bro. Like I don't know what it is, man. I don't know what it is.
Now as they were back then, but very influential organization. Not only would they defend their communities, they would go on the offensive and host pogroms on Christian communities and Muslim communities across the Indian subcontinent. As this ideology grew and grew, especially in the face of upcoming Indian partition, one major event would solidify both their existence and their extremism. And that has to do with the life and times of a figure I think we all know. One, Mahatma Gandhi.
Gandhi!
Now, I'm not going to do a deep dive into the life of Mahatma Gandhi. I think, like, we all learned that in school, and also, like, it's not that important. It would have been really important, but then this happened. Mahatma Gandhi, big revolutionary, gains all this public sympathy, wants an independent India. Eventually, after World War II, when England is kind of broke, and sort of like social liberalism has taken over academia in England, now they're starting to decolonize.
Am I goofy looking too? I don't know, bro. Let me see a picture of you. Oh! Actually, yeah, because you said you could fit 2 bananas in your ass and you're Indian saying that shit, I just know you're probably the goofiest looking. You're probably #1 goofiest Indian out there.
They decide to give India a state, what we now refer to as, well, India. Now, Mahatma Gandhi, he was on track to become the first prime minister. Everyone liked Gandhi. Gandhi's whole thing was pluralism. He worked very closely with Muslims and Christians. And while, yes, Pakistan was formed to push minorities into it, he was actually pretty against that and believed in the idea of pluralism.
Damn, so, like, I don't know shit about Gandhi, man. I didn't even learn that in school. Ooh, oh my god. I was about to say, was he a good guy? But let's see what you said. Mahatma Gandhi was a fucking retard. If he was made the prime minister, he would have sold the whole country to China. Ooh, Schmidt is on Instagram. Oh my god. Alright, I'll check it out later. I'll check it out after the video.
In their society, he was very peaceful, very faithful. I mean, when you think of Gandhi, I mean, that's like, he's synonymous with the idea of like the peaceful protest or being very pious. I mean, that was his whole character in this bigger political struggle. But the reason he didn't become prime minister is not because he didn't win the votes. It's because he was assassinated. So like right after partition, Mahatma Gandhi in public is assassinated. Now this sent shockwaves not just across the Indian subcontinent, but across the world. I mean, Gandhi had kind of become a bit of a fascination, especially in Western academia, as this...
Yo, why did Gandhi get killed? What the fuck? Wasn't he like all about peace and shit?
Sort of like noble savage, and this figure who everyone looks at and goes, oh, well, that's sweet. And then, you know, like that's kind of what Gandhi's position was. And so this sends shockwaves across the world. Eventually, as the dust of his assassination settles, authorities find out that he was assassinated not by the British, not by a Westerner, but by one Nathuram Godse, another Indian. Nathuram was an RSS member. He was a devout Hindutva. The reason he did it is because he said was because of Gandhi's, quote, appeasement of Muslims. See, Hindutva obviously doesn't like minorities.
Oh, so that's why they're saying he was basically like a Hindu Zionist. Gandhi proposed India should not have an army because of his peaceful ideas. Oh, I mean that makes sense with his with the type of person he, you know, they say he is.
But it is especially,
but probably not a good idea overall.
Especially targeted at Muslims.
Not in this world. If we lived in a different world where, yeah, but hey, maybe it would have been a good start. Maybe it would have been a good start, but I feel like India would probably get taken over again. Man, look at Canada, bro. Just go to Canada. Just go to Canada. Saxash, why don't you just go to Canada? Let me mention some of Gandhi's statements. Okay, go ahead, bro.
They really, really don't like Muslims. You have to understand, this is because in the Hindutva mindset, the Muslims are sort of like a leftover of Mughal rule, Muslim rule over India. People forget that for a very long time, India was ruled over by Muslims, and it was like a caliphate, basically. You know, the Taj Mahal, you know, not the casino, the actual Taj Mahal, that big monument building that we all associate India with. Yeah, it's a mosque. People don't realize that the Taj Mahal, that's not a Hindu temple, that is a mosque.
The Taj Mahal is crazy. I would want to go to the Taj Mahal just to look at it.
Something that the Hindutvas, let me know, are fucking furious about. They hate that. More on that later. But they view Muslims as sort of this historic remnant of Mughal rule, and so they don't like them and want them to be debased and sort of disempowered.
Oh, that's why they're okay with whatever's going on in what do you call it, in Iran and shit.
Indian society, and Nathuram here was no exception to that. And so he went and assassinated Mahatma Gandhi. After this, the RSS is obviously like heavily banned, and like tons of its members are arrested, and it's a whole thing. And people are really unhappy with the RSS. Eventually, though, they managed to appeal to courts and get themselves unbanned in 1949 under the strict agreement that they restrict themselves solely to cultural activities and do not get involved in politics. Now, guys, come on. We're talking about India. Do you really think they stuck with that rule? No, they did exactly what you think they would do. They found loopholes. They found many loopholes that arguably made them more and more powerful. And so this is where we get to meet the family.
A family affair.
For anyone who knows Indian politics, they absolutely know the family. And no, I'm not speaking about the Soprano family, unfortunately. I'm speaking about the Sangh Parivar. This is the umbrella term for a loose collection of Hindutva organizations that were founded...
Wait, so, Saxash, what's the top caste called? What's the, like, highest, most prestigious caste called?
by either former or current RSS volunteers. Basically, they were told not to get into politics, and so they left the group and then started a bunch of completely unrelated.
All right, let me click this shit.
In 1947,
Okay.
while preaching to those affected by the pre-partition Hindu-Muslim violence, he said, and I quote, "Hindus should not harbor anger in their hearts against Muslims, even if the latter wanted to destroy them. Even if the Muslims want to kill us all, we should face death bravely. If they established after killing us all their rule, after killing all Hindus, we would be ushering in a new world by sacrificing our lives. None should fear death. Birth and death are inevitable for every human being. Why should we then rejoice or grieve? If we die with a smile, being killed by Muslims, we shall enter into a new life. We shall be ushering in a new India," unquote.
See, to be honest, man, Gandhi, he's just too... If you read Gandhi's biography, you absolutely despise him. I think Gandhi is just too... He's too spiritually advanced for Indian society. Right? He was a fucking racist. Holy shit. I hear a lot of people like talking shit about Gandhi, and I don't know a lot about Gandhi. So it's like I don't even know like what to think of him. So I would have to do like research about him. Maybe he was a racist. Maybe he is retarded.
Related organizations, all involved in politics and everyday aspects of life. For those who don't know, they game the system, which, I mean, come on, do I gotta say it? Like, do I have to? Come on, listen, it is what it is. Basically, this organization exists well into today, and it dominates much of Indian society, reaching into aspects of everyday life, everywhere from religion to education to social services, all the way to, like I said, centerpiece of it all, the RSS, which is their paramilitary organization. Now, part of this grander umbrella, this grander family, is the BJP.
When he was in South Africa, he sent an African girl to get his pumice stone because he forgot so the African bro to get his pumice stone because he forgot. So the African bro brought him the stone, and he said it would have been fun if you were sexually assaulted on the way back. What the fuck?
Which for a long time was just kind of a fringe political party. It didn't really do anything. It was just kind of a political outlet wing of this grand organization. Something that, let me note, the organization denies. Like, BJP denies that they are involved with the RSS. But like, come on, come on. Like, this is exactly, guys. You know how they would operate this. Okay, they say no, we're not involved with the RSS at all. But then meanwhile, all of the BJP leaders and politicians were part of the RSS, and all of the RSS people were pro BJP. Like, come on, it's just basic scamming. Like, come on, what do you want me to tell you? This was the start of one of the biggest events in modern Indian history, an event that for that part of the world is like it's their 9/11. I'm speaking, of course, about December 6th. In 2000.
Fuck happened December 6th?
2004, U.S. soldiers stationed in Baghdad, Iraq, noticed that local peddlers were selling an interesting product. The Osama bin
Bro, what the fuck?
You
always guess me with this ad. That is pretty cool, though.
And new people get elected in NASA history with the iconic Osama bin Laden. Now let's get back to the video. After all these people get elected and now the BJP is on the map politically, this is when December 6th happens. This is the largest, this is their big day of mourning. Now, all the way back in 1949, somebody, let me note, somebody, we don't know who, put an idol of Ram, one of the Hindu gods, inside of a mosque in the town of Ayodhya. So he took an idol of Ram, put it inside of the mosque, which, if you know anything about Islam, that's a huge no-no. And Ayodhya's it's kind of a holy city to the Hindus, and so they see, well, I mean, every Indian city is a holy city. I don't even think they really know what they believe, but Ayodhya, I guess, is a holy city. And so the fact that there's a mosque there, they already didn't like that. So all of a sudden, all these Muslims, they're very upset. And this has been a back and forth for decades over a building called the Babri Masjid, the Babri Mosque. Now, eventually the BJP, they decided to hold a rally in support of a Hindu nation, in support of the deportation, the expulsion of Muslims from the country. And they decided to hold it in Ayodhya, in front of that mosque. A crowd of over 150 150,000 activists, supporters of the BJP, members of the RSS showed up to protest the mosque. And while they initially...
Dude, there's no way they got 150,000 people there. Bro, Indians are fucking insane.
Said that it was going to be a peaceful protest. Eventually, it devolved into them literally barehandedly, like physically taking down the mosque, like with pickaxes, hammers, and some of them literally just picking at the stone. This went on for several hours until the mosque was completely destroyed. Riots happened across the country after that, leading to the deaths of nearly 2,000 people. Basically, this event kicked off sectarian violence in the country that they've never fully recovered from, and that is the political circumstance that we basically live in today. Now, I say all of this, I mentioned the BJP lightly, but what am I referring to today? What does all of this matter? Sure, it's kind of funny to think that people who look exactly the same, eat the same foods, and come from the same culture, that they're this hell-bent on destroying one another. How's that relevant? What does that matter today? Well, like I said, it's India's Zionism. And that comparison does not start and end with the desire to have a one faith or one ethnic government. That goes very, very deep. And to understand that, we have to understand the BJP today.
Man, shout out the cows,
now, you're not going to believe me when I tell you some of this. And so before making this video, I have meticulously looked through screenshots, gotten all the sources I can, because you are not going to believe the things I'm about to claim to you. The BJP is known for being a little wacky. Like when you think of like an overzealous, over-patriotic, just kind of silly, goofy Indian guy, that is the BJP. It is the party for those guys. They've only grown in power, gaining their first prime minister in Narendra Modi. Just like how they have their weird...
He's lying. Babari Masjid was built over a temple, and Ayodhya is a holy city. The Supreme Court gave an order to rebuild a temple and mosque has a bigger fucking area. Dude, this video is cap? So you're saying Brillium is lying? Holy shit, wait, we're gonna have to check this out. We're going to have to look it up ourselves.
Weird kind of shadow organization in the family. The BJP runs itself in a similar layer kind of mafia style system, but less gabagool, more Gujarati. See, what they do is that Narendra Modi, he's not
Here, let's look that up. Babari Masjid.
Publicly very extreme. I mean,
The Babari Masjid Mosque in Ayodhya, India, built by the Mughal Emperor in 1528, which became the center of profound religious and political dispute. Hindus believe that this is the birthplace of Lord Ram. Who's fucking Lord Ram? Yes, I live 50 kilometers away from Ayodhya. Yo. Wait, isn't this like one of the main ones? Is the seventh avatar of Vishnu? Yo, Hinduism is insane. What the fuck? Oh, this is the one that he was talking about, right? Whoa. Claiming a temple was destroyed to build a mosque. Oh. A Hindu nationalist mob destroyed the mosque, triggering nationwide riots following a lengthy legal battle. The Supreme Court in India in 2019 awarded the site for the construction of a Hindu temple while ordering a separate plot for a new mosque. Oh, shit. Huh. Yes, I live 50 miles away from Ayodhya. Oh, shit. Wait, did he even mention that? Wait, hold on. Let's go back a little bit.
And so before making this video, I have meticulously looked through screenshots, gotten all the sources I can, because you are not going to believe the things I'm about to claim to you. The BJP of over 150,000, an idol of Ram, put it inside of the mosque, which, if you know anything about Islam, that's a huge no-no.
Wait, I didn't even think you mentioned that. Wait, that's
After
crazy.
all these people get elected, and now the BJP is on the map politically, this is when December 6th happens. This is the largest, this is their big day of mourning. Now, all the way back in 1949, somebody, let me note, somebody, we don't know who, put an idol of Ram, one of the Hindu gods, inside of a mosque in the town of Ayodhya. So he took an idol.
Oh, wait, so he didn't even mention that this was the supposed birthplace of Ram, and that's why they put it in there. What? Wait, that's kind of fucked up.
Rum, put it inside of the mosque, which, if you know anything about Islam, that's a huge no-no. And Ayotta's like, it's kind of a holy city to the Hindus, and so they see, well, I mean, every Indian city is a holy city. I don't even think they really know what they believe, but Ayotta, I guess, is a holy city. And so the fact that there's a mosque there, they already didn't like that. So all of a sudden, all these Muslims, they're very upset, and this has been a back and forth for decades over a building called the Babri Masjid, the Babri Mosque. Now, eventually, the BJP, they decided to hold a rally in support of the Hindu nation, in support of the deportation, the expulsion of Muslims from the country, and they decided to hold it in Ayotta, in front of that mosque. A crowd of over 150,000 activists, supporters of the BJP, members of the RSS, showed up to protest the mosque, and while they initially said that it was going to be a peaceful protest, eventually it devolved into them literally barehandedly, like physically taking down the mosque, like with pickaxes, hammers, and some of them literally just picking at the stone. This went on for several hours until the mosque was completely destroyed. Riots happened across the country after that, leading to the deaths of nearly 2,000 people. Basically, this event kicked off sectarian violence in the country that they've never fully recovered from.
Yo, that's crazy. He didn't even mention that. He didn't even mention that they got a new mosque.
And that is the political circumstance that we basically live in today. Now, I say all of this, I mentioned the BJP lightly, but what am I referring to today? What does all of this matter? Sure, it's kind of funny to think that people who look exactly the same, eat the same foods, and come from the same culture, that they're this hell-bent on destroying one another. How's that relevant? What does that matter today? Well, like I said, it's India's Zionism. And that comparison does not start and end with the desire to have a one faith or one ethnic government. That goes very, very deep. And to understand that, we have to understand the BJP today. Now, you're not going to believe me when I tell you some of this. And so before making this video, I have meticulously looked through screenshots, gotten all the sources I can.
Damn, bro. Yo, Saxash, if you wouldn't have called out Brillium, I would never have known that. And not gonna lie, it's making me look at his videos differently, bro. We already have a resentment towards Muslim monuments because of them were made over Hindu temples to be used as dog whistle by Muslims. If you look at the Kailash temple, it's more than 2,000 years old, and those rulers fucking ruined the temple. Damn, bro. Damn. It's like... Oh my god. That's fucked, bro.
And because you are not going to believe the things I'm about to claim.
This is crazy as fuck. Nah, Saksha, shout out you. Shout out you for actually calling that out. Oh my god.
To you. The BJP is known for being a little wacky. Like when you think of like an overzealous, overpatriotic.
Here, let's look at the Kailash temple real quick. What's it called? Kailash temple. Oh shit, what the fuck? It's over 2,000 years old and those rulers fucking ruined the temple. Damn. So this is what it looks like now. So what was it before? Was it this? Whoa, this thing looks crazy though. Oh, it's massive. I thought it was super small. Based off of this picture, I thought it was small for some reason. What the fuck? Dude, if this video went viral in India, he would have to apologize. Oh my god, bro. Dude. Carved from one block of stone. Now, this is crazy. This is actually really crazy. Wow, nah, this looks beautiful. Holy shit. This thing's insane. It had gold, silver, idols, they destroyed everything. Man. Like the temple before now. Well, of course there's not going to be good videos or good pictures, right? How the fuck did they even do this? Kalisha carved from one mountain? Between the 8th and 9th centuries, artisans under King Krishna carved Kalisha's temple downward from a single fucking rock. That's insane. You can never understand Indian politics until and unless you come on the ground. Holy shit.
Patriotic, just kind of
I feel like that's true.
silly, goofy Indian guy. That is the BJP. It
Or
is the
talk to someone who's like really knowledgeable on the topic.
party for those guys. They've only grown in power, gaining their first prime minister in Narendra Modi. Just like how they have their weird kind of shadow organization in the family, the BJP
Is his assessment of the BJP being like Hindu Zionist, is that a valid assessment though?
runs itself in a similar layer kind of mafia style system, but less gabagool, more Gujarati. See, what they do is that Narendra Modi, he's not publicly very extreme. I mean, he's a right-wing candidate. He is a nationalist. He does obviously favor Hindus. He talks about the Hindu character of the nation, all that. But he's not actively calling for anyone's expulsion. He's not actively doing anything crazy. He mostly just turns a blind eye to BJP politicians. Now, these are the guys we want to talk about. I'll give you some great examples of BJP moments. In March of 2020, as COVID-19 spread, members of the BJP organized a, quote, cow urine party, inviting attendees to drink something called Gaumutra, a traditional Hindu drink made from cow urine, and to eat cow dung, all as a preventative measure against COVID-19. Also leading to the World Health Organization having to put cow dung all as a preventative measure against COVID-19. Also leading to the World Health Organization having to put out a notice saying that no, drinking cow urine and eating cow dung doesn't cure COVID. In 2015, the prestigious, let me note, like actually recognized internationally for its level of acclaim, Indian Science Congress, attended by Prime Minister Narendra Modi, featured a paper from the top Air Force captain in India claiming that ancient Indians had built airplanes thousands of years ago that could fly between planets, become invisible, and could hear the thoughts of enemy combatants. The paper cited just religious texts. They just cited like old mythology books from the Hindu mythology, and was given approval by an academic board, and then was presented in front of the global scientific community alongside the Prime Minister. This moment solidified the fact that we was pilots. Sar. This is also where the idea of Greater Bharat was introduced. Now, Greater Bharat is basically their Greater India. It's this belief that's used to be very fringe in the BJP, but is very quickly becoming the mainstream position that India should expand its borders. That not only should India encompass the gigantic country that is India, basically they want the entire British Raj plus all of Afghanistan and some parts of Iran, claiming that this was promised to them 10,000 years ago by their Lord Vishnu. So you heard promised to me 3,000
Holy shit.
years ago, but no, they were promised this 10,000 years ago by Lord Vishnu. Honestly, it sounds like a more legit claim. I mean, 10,000 years is a lot longer than 3,000 years. And so while all of this is very wacky, and these people are constantly being embroiled in all sorts of scandals, they're constantly getting caught in sex scandals like every other day. I mean, this is a wacky group, but the reason why I want to highlight this is the fact that not only is it a wacky group in India, it's a wacky group in your country. In 2020, the Australian government caught a, quote, nest of spies living inside of Australia, spying on the Australian government, actively funneling Indian money toward politicians and activists in Australia for open border agreements. They were caught and then promptly expelled, but none of the politicians involved were indicted in any way. It's also been seen that in Canada, they do similar things, but except in Canada, they're allowed to actively fund political campaigns. You can see in Canada here that a lot of political campaigns have become very, very skewed a certain way. I'll say that, to say the least. And I've spoken about this before, that yes, what they have created is a form of ethnic nepotism to be used politically. See, you have to understand, a sizable amount of India's economy is remittances. That's just a fancy word for people sending money back home to mama and baba and their aunties. That makes up a sizable chunk of the Indian economy. If they were to lose their remittances ability, they would collapse, like in a day. The only way they can get remittances is through
You know, all the famous Hindu temples in India have an NSG commando protection, but no other monuments have it.
This is why people have...
Oh my god. This dude pissed me off so much. That map he showed was Tegland conquered by an Indian ruler.
Noted it's interesting that a nationalist party that just did all the things I described to you, literally fought and died for nationalist causes, yet they're incredibly pro-migration. And there's a reason for that. It's because, like I said before, remittance politics, diaspora politics. See, people don't realize that America, the Indians have their own APAC. Yes. This is what I meant by saying it's Hindu Zionism. They also have their own APAC. It's an organization called US INPAC. The United States India Political Action Committee, staffed entirely by American Indians, receives tons of support and money from the BJP in India for the express purpose of supporting candidates on either side that are going to be in favor of, explicitly, Indian migration. Most notably, one of their most recent pet projects was one Vivek Ramaswamy. Huge donators to Vivek Ramaswamy. So, by the way, when Vivek talks about opening up data centers and creating jobs, he wants to create jobs, just not for you. This is why you're seeing so much appeasement in our politics for Indian foreign nationals and the expansion of H-1Bs, because yes, they are forming their own APAC. They are looking at the Israel model and are attempting to copy it. They're just like a lot sloppier about it, like really, really sloppy about it. At least APAC knows, don't put one of your own as the face of it, but you know, they didn't pick up on that one. And they are doing this across the Western world, and all the trade.
I mean, this kind of the problem with like America. There's too many like different kinds of people, and like people historically, they're very, very, very tribal. So you want what's best for your people. So it's like, yeah, this is bad, and it's a good thing to know. But you kind of expect this to happen. You kind of do expect this to happen. Like in the future, there's probably gonna be like a Latin APAC. There's probably gonna be like European APAC, which was pretty much what it is now. No, maybe not what it is now, but what it was then. Middle Eastern APAC. They're probably gonna have all types of fucking APACs.
Deals that we're currently making with India are based around this idea. I spoke about this in a live stream that right now, all these trade deals that involve us moving our manufacturing from China into the even cheaper India, the BJP is ensuring that every single contract comes with a clause. That clause being, you're going to allow XYZ amount of migrants into your country. This is the final stage of Hindu Zionism, is the fact that they're literally using diaspora politics a la American Zionism, of just Zionism in general. And by the way, anybody who's a fan of mine from Australia or Canada, they're probably recognizing this, that like the Indian vote, the Indian voter bloc is beginning to play a much larger role in elections than in previous years. America, the community is still very small.
This dude would get beaten up in India if he said so much bullshit. On God, he like skinned alive or some shit. Yo, William, don't step foot in India, bro. Sex I said you're not safe in India. Don't fucking step a foot.
Something that they're very quickly attempting to change. This is all to say that politics in America,
Sex Ash, I'm good in India, right? I'm good in India.
Aren't real and just go to the highest bidder. And this is the reality that you live in and that I live in and that we're supposed to call America, even though no aspect of it is truly American. Folks, that's going to do it for us today on this episode of The Narrative. I hope you enjoyed.
Holy fucking shit, yo. That was an interesting video by William. Even though he got a bunch of shit wrong, shout out William. Here, let's see.